All right, welcome, everyone. Okay, so we just have a few persons here with us. And so, please, for those of us joining, either you're joining via YouTube or you're joining on Twitch, please do well to drop a message on the Discord community on the UI UX track room so that we'll have more persons joining us. Your instructor, Priyanka Chopda. Sorry, I didn't get the pronunciation well. She's already here with us live on the call. So, welcome, Priyanka. All right,
Hey,
so I'll
hello.
just do a brief. Yeah, hello, Priyanka. Okay, I'll just do a brief introduction before she starts. So we have on the call with us Priyanka Chopda from India. I can't get the pronunciation from Karnataka, Sorry, let me just say from
Bengaluru.
India. From India. Okay, thank you so much. And she's going to be taking us on today's class. So she's a UI UX expert at Avidos, and she's going to be taking us on today's class. So she'll be teaching on whiteboard session beyond thinking. So thank you so much, Priyanka. And for everyone once again on this call, please do well to drop a message so we'll have more persons joining us from the Discord community. Yeah, so Priyanka, you can start. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As Emanuela has already given my intro, I'm Priyanka from Bangalore. Been doing this UI UX from past 4 years. So let's start with our today's topic: whiteboarding sessions beyond design thinking. Um, okay. So before we start with the presentation, I just hope everyone whoever during the presentation have any doubts or any questions, they can drop a message to me, and we shall discuss on those topics. So before getting to the whiteboard sections, let get a grip on the basics. That's what is UI UX designing, what is design thinking, and what's design process. So basically, when we talk about today's agenda, we will just go through the introduction of the UI UX designing. Then we will understand what is design thinking and design process. Then we will understand what is whiteboarding. Then we will understand what is the different type of whiteboarding sessions. Then we will get to the summary. We will have a live example or a live project which I'm doing currently for a company. We will discuss how we do the whiteboarding there. This will help you to get a deeper understanding on what whiteboard sessions help in design thinking, and just not with the design thinking. It's with any of the company related matters. So let's get started. Okay. So basically, what is UI UX design and why is it important? Would anybody like to leave a comment on this? Emanuela, can I see the questions here, or is just
Um, Hi Priyanka. If they drop the answers, I'll show it on your screen. You see it on your screen. Can you
okay?
hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, okay, let's go with the basics. So, basically, UI UX design is a process for any, of the product or the design or the service which you do. Without UI UX, it's like a complete discomfort towards the product. So, basically, what a UI UX design does to a product is it understands the usability. It gives a understanding. It gives a specification how the product or the service should be, and then it makes it important or makes it very easy to use, so the user who's using the product or service is having a great experience while using it. Now, why is this important? Because it makes you understand the ease of the procedure or the process to get to a point of a product. Now, When we have a deeper understanding of UI UX designing, I'll just give you a brief example of why it's necessary. So, you would all be knowing about this ketchup bottle hints. Now, if you see in the picture, I have mentioned a user interface design of one bottle where the cap is opening from the top of the bottle, and there is one which is opening from down of the bottle. So, in a daily life or the daily user experience, which one would you think would be better? The obvious reason would be the downer cap bottle, right? Because you don't have to switch around the whole bottle, wait for the ketchup to come out. So the better way of using a ketchup or the bottle is having a cap down. So that's a user experience. This is one of those examples. Now, what is design thinking and what is the process of design thinking? Design thinking is a process of researching, gathering information about the problem or challenges. It is a relevant topic which is used in the design industry or in the market trends of any company. This helps the designers to understand the problem and identify the potential opportunities and constraints. Now, for these design processes, we have five-step procedure, which basically means research and analysis, ideation, design and prototyping, testing and iteration, and implementation. Now, I would take you to one example of a live website. Basically, when so let's start with first process, that is ideation. So basically, ideation is a stage where designers use the information gathered, and then they brainstorm. They understand the industry. They talk to the users. They understand their pain points. So this ideation helps them to understand the problem in a deeper way. So, for example, there is a product called Family Emart. Now, what Family Emart does is it sells pulses and vegetables online. So, what is the problem of this Family Emart? So, Family Emart was basically introduced by a stakeholder in a two-tier city. When I mean two-tier city, it is a city where there is no much use of technology or mobile phones or etc. So this Family Emart basically wanted to go live in two-tier city, and they wanted the users to rely on e-commerce platform to order their daily groceries. Now, for this problem, what we did as a research part is we went to the two-tier city to understand what is the pain point. The pain is that they had no idea about the e-commerce website or the usage of it through online platforms like uh, you know mobile or anything. What they would rather do, or they find it easy, is to go to the physical grocery store and purchase. So what was up through this, we understood that we had to promote technology. We had to market the knowledge about using the phones. So the basic research and analysis what we did for Family Emart was to make the two-tier city understand about the using of phones and laptops or computers, and make them understand about how to use an e-commerce website where they can order, see the materials available, and then go to the payment process. So basically, this is research and analysis stage 1 of the design process. Now, stage 2, ideation. Now, when you are understood about the product, I mean the pain points of the user, what you do is you then sit with your team and brainstorm and generate the ideas of potential solutions. The stage is typically characterized by like free flowing of exchange and ideas. This helps in creating solutions with good innovations. Now, for example, to make the two-tier city to understand the e-commerce platform, or to understand why is it easier way to order from an e-commerce platform, we introduced offers and discounts through online website. So what happens here is, when you are online, you I mean, any user or any person, when they get to hear about the discounts and combo offers, they would actually want to try and learn about the e-commerce platform, and order and get those discounts, right? So this was our ideation, this was our idea, offer or solution to the problem. Now, the third process, what we call is prototyping or designing. Now, basically, when you know how you can, the problem, now you know how you can attract the consumers, how you can knowledge them and get to the website. The third part would be the prototyping, basically laying a solid UI, which I call it as a user interface of the whole website or the product, where they can go and purchase the groceries, right? So then we created some prototyping or mockups to just understand like how the product would look. So this is the third stage, where you design and prototype. Now once you design and prototype, what you do is you share it to your stakeholders and the users to test it. Now testing is the fourth part. Now, in the testing process, you understand the pain points. You see how easy it's for the user to start from the login, search for the product, search for the detail, go to the final cart, and then do the purchase. So, you analyze the 5 steps and do the testing if it's easier or no. So, then after the fifth step, we understand what are the pain points, what are the betterment which we could do for the product. And once that is done, we do the implementation. That is the fifth step, sorry. So the implementation happens once the users are fine with the prototype, the solution which we have got. Then we get with the developer, we sit with the stakeholders, we make the implementation happen, and it goes live. But this design process doesn't end with this 5 process. What happens is, it is a cycle. You keep testing, you keep analyzing, and you keep getting new features. So that's basically design thinking and design process. Now, why is whiteboard important in UI UX design, or basically in anything, and what is whiteboarding? Whiteboarding is basically a technique which is used, to sketch out all the ideas, draw the wireframes, or collaborate with people or the stakeholders to get hold of the information. It it makes easy for you to get to the solutions. Now, what is whiteboarding? Whiteboarding basically, it's a large surface, as you can see in the picture. People just use a white large board, where they can, once they get the problem, they jot down the ideas, they talk to the team members, they discuss what better could be happen. So this whiteboarding section helps to conceptualize, visualize the ideas, and it also helps you to communicate the problem or the solution in a easier way. So whiteboarding session mainly comes before any designing or user interface. It comes around the research part of the design process. Now, when I say whiteboarding, there are different type of whiteboarding. Whiteboarding, one of the first example would be mind mapping. Mind mapping involves a visual diagram of your basically your thoughts. Whenever you get a problem, what you do is you just write it down on a paper or anything, even the small book or the notepad or the paper, what you write in, what thoughts you have, what ideas you want to put, is basically a whiteboard. So basically you organize your thoughts in that book, that it could happen it in this way. Now the second one is User flow mapping. Now, this kind of whiteboard is basically, drawing down or writing down the flow of a user for any product. Like if it's a e-commerce website, I would make a user flow from a login page to a purchase page. So that's user flow mapping. Next is wireframing. Wireframe is a technique which involves, it's like a blueprint of a website. You basically draw the whole visual placements of the icons or the text or the content, everything on a whiteboard. So whiteboard can be a physical page or a online tool in Figma. We will get to a point where we will see some online examples on Figma. Now, the next would be collaborating whiteboard. So in this type of whiteboarding, once you get to the solutions, once you have idea, you can collaborate with the team members. You can get different solutions with that team members, or you can sit and analyze together with your team members. So these are those kind of whiteboarding. Now let's get to an example of whiteboarding session. Is my screen visible?
Um, yes, it is. We can see your screen.
Yeah. So now, for example, this is my whiteboard here. So whiteboard can be a individual brainstorming, or it can be a collaborative brainstorming as well. Now, for example, my problem is that so now I want to introduce cash payments in Uber, and I want to know how would I make it easier for the user and the driver to know about the cash payments, right? So this is my problem. Now, uh, what would I do for this is I would first analyze what kind of research or solution would I do, or what is the procedure. Now, first, foremost steps I would decide is what is required for a Uber ride. So first I would request a ride, then I would add a pickup point, then I would be on the ride, then I would reach the location, then I would do the payment, and then exit the vehicle. Now, with these assumptions in my whiteboarding, what I would do is I would understand during these assumptions, I would see where I could, be able to make it easier to inform a ride, I mean, the cash payment to a rider and the driver. So now, out of these, what I would do with my brainstorming is I would make a screen applicable, or I would inform the rider during making a request that this amount of cost would be charged and you'll have to pay it by cash. And same information I can give it to the driver when he gets the request, right? So these are my assumptions. Now, after this assumptions, what I would do is I would roughly create a small blueprint or a prototype about where I would mention this. So basically, not a good visual effect wireframe, but just a deep understanding. If it's this my mobile screen, for example. mm, okay, so I have a location to go. What I would do is, basically give the driver's name to the, I would give some random name, driver name, which kind of vehicle, maybe a sedan, reaching time, then it would be like payment via cash, and the approximate balance of how much it would cost. So I would go with Indian money of, say, rupees 100, right? And then I would give some information about safety measures with one icon. And I would also inform about shared details to family. And the third one would be terms of services. So basically, when I brainstorm, I would rather start about, so let's take this as a wireframe or one prototype for the rider where I inform about the cash payment. Okay. So what here I would do after, getting a problem, that I want to add a cash payment in Uber, and basically, both the rider and the driver should get the information about the cash payments. I would just do a random assumption about what are my procedures of the Uber ride, and then I would pick a point where it's easier and it's very safe to provide the information in prior. So now what I've done is, I have, while requesting the ride by a rider, I have informed them that I would do the payment via cash. Of course, this is a low fidelity wireframe. It's not visually appealing. It's just a visual representation of the point where I would inform about the ride. So this is one example. Now I would like any inputs from yourself or any questions regarding the whiteboarding which I am doing right now. Please let me know if there are any questions.
Okay, so Priyanka, I'm going to display. If there's any question, I will display it on the screen so you can see it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so for
I'm
those
not
of
able.
us here already, if you have any, yeah, if you have any question, please drop it on the chat and we'll display it on the screen. So please, you can do that now.
Okay. I'm sorry. Should I continue or should we wait for the questions?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So basically, this was one live example about a small brainstorming procedure which I would do as an individual when I get a problem. And then make it, take this whiteboard and share it with my team or the collaborators and understand the point of, where would I make this information available or make it easier for the user to understand. So this is one live example about, how a whiteboarding session happens. A small example basically. Now let's get back to the whiteboarding presentation. So now, whiteboarding just doesn't stop with the design process. It is way beyond design process. Why? Because you can use it in day-to-day life, or any date company, other management teams. So basically, we can whiteboarding sections can be also used in problem identification. For example, it can be used to identify problems or pain points in the business. You can, gather with a team and brainstorm ideas. You can identify issues that need to be addressed, and then you can get to a potential solutions. So basically, whiteboarding can also help a company to understand or analyze any issues they're facing with in a general format. Now, other than problem identification, you can also do the whiteboarding session in strategy planning. Strategy planning, basically when a company or anyone is doing a strategic plan for a project, you map out the goals, you map out the objectives, or you map out the key action that teams has to take, and then you create a roadmap to complete that and get the success for that strategic planning. What do you do for the project? So you can use whiteboard for strategic planning. Now you also use whiteboard for project management. Project management, for example, you can create whiteboarding to manage projects and track progresses. It creates a visual representation of tasks, deadlines, and team members teams can also organize and can be organized and be focused with the project. So whiteboarding helps them to analyze, follow up the plan or the follow up the procedure they have made out through their whiteboarding or brainstorming session. Next, it can also be used in marketing and advertising. So how? In a whiteboarding session or any online visual planning, they can, brainstorm ideas, create visual representation of campaign, and they can also create, effective messages and tactics. So, in other than design processes, these are the four more major things where whiteboarding sections can be done. So this was one small, explanation about whiteboarding. What does a whiteboard mean? Basically, where you can use and how it's used in design. So from here onwards, I would like to hear about um, some questions or some inputs from you so that I can help you guys understand about the brainstorming. I mean whiteboarding.
All right, Priyanka. So from your previous question you asked about the importance of UI UX, I'll be dropping some answers on the screen so that you can see them. Can you see
Okay.
them?
I can just read UI UX design improves user satisfaction. Yes, it does. It is important because it plays a vital role in creating a successful digital product. Yes, obviously, right? For example, for example, if you want to take a live example, why UX UI is important. Uh, so basically, when you go to Netflix, I hope you have used Netflix and well versed with the Netflix, right? Why is Netflix very successful in its user experience and user interface? Can somebody answer that?
Yeah,
You
someone
can
will
leave
answer
a
that
comment.
and drop it in the comments.
Solves the user problem, creates products that meets the user need. Wow, there's
Oh, sorry about that. This is
okay. So basically, so Netflix has her main concept, which none of us would have realized. Netflix is basically a personalized platform. It personalized according to your taste. Now, for example, you start seeing some series or some movies, it will always suggest you related to those kind of topics. That's why Netflix has become a great experience for the users, because it always gives you an open match to the content which you're seeing. So that's one good example about UI UX design. Okay, next, what do we have? Yeah, I'm sorry that I missed on putting a exit icon on the button. Of course, I mentioned that it's a low fidelity wireframe, where I would just concentrate more on, highlighting the issue, where I would mention the information that the ride is for the cash payment and not the online payment. Is it compulsory to make low fidelity design during whiteboarding? Yes, it is compulsory to make a low fidelity design. Why? Because it would always help you to analyze, interrogate, and make changes way more easier than it goes to the high fidelity wireframes. You don't have to play with the visuals. It's just making your design process easier. So it's very important to make a lo-fi design. It also makes the other users or other stakeholders to understand the relevant problem which you're trying to convey. So yeah, low fidelity is of course important. I missed how she inserted the map. Can she tell the plugin? So it's a plugin named Map Maker in Figma, which where you can insert map. It's called Map Maker. Can we also make use of fig jam for whiteboarding? Fig jam is actually a type of whiteboarding where collaborate with designers. You discuss with them about your projects or ongoing designs. So yeah, fig jam is a whiteboard type of whiteboarding. How will like to know the duration of conducting a whiteboard? So there is no particular duration about the whiteboarding. It depends upon how deep is the problem, how would you take out. It depends upon product to product and people to people. Some people take months just to come to the point where they can get a good product for launch. For example, one of the good examples is that I was working for a venture debt company where my whiteboarding was just for 2 days. And there was another company called as Lux Outlet, that was a multi website where I took 1 month of whiteboarding. So it's undefinable about the timing for whiteboarding session. It's just a cycle, it just goes on, it's never ending. Yes, that's right. Because Netflix is easy to navigate. Yeah, of course.
I think these answers also pertain to Netflix.
Please, can we have an example of full whiteboarding file from you to see how it's done and arranged? Just asking. Okay, so let me take you to a live example of a project. I just discussed that I'm working for a venture debt company. So my whiteboarding, what I did was first I'd arrange. This company didn't have a website and didn't have a problem basically to say. What they wanted was just an understanding, or just a new website where they can promote that they are venture debts, and they want founders can reach them and ask for the investment. I hope you guys know what's a venture debt. Can you just give me a heads up that you know about venture debt, then I can take you directly to the a whiteboarding file which I've already done for a, or let me just present it. Okay, I hope my screen's visible. Let me just share the whiteboarding.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So for this Revex, what we did was I first arranged the scope of the website, like how the overview should be, how the services should be, how the eligibility of the website is, how the application process is, and it's very necessary to show about the team because it's the venture debt team which is gonna invest in the founders, right? And then after this, I had done a competitive analysis, which means that I have compared the other websites or other companies, so that I can understand how easy, or I can find those small errors or small things, and add as a new feature to the current company website which I'm doing, and make it much more better, so that the users will come, the founders will come, or it will have a good traffic to the current website. And after the competitive analysis, I would draw a information architecture, basically the user flow, wherein I will just map out what kind of website it will be, where which content it will be seen, and how basically organized it should be, so that any user who comes to the website, they will understand where to go and find out the important things which they want to see. Next, what I've done is I have jot down the user journey map, or pain points. I've just understood or made an assumption of, if a user comes to the website, what will he think, what will he do, what will he feel, and what are the opportunities he'll be finding, or she'll be finding. Suppose this is the company which I'm working for, Revex Capital. And so this is one of the procedure which I followed for Revex in Whiteboard, where I jot down the scope, I jot down the problem, I jot down the solution, I make the information architecture or the user flow. I then make the user journey or understand the pain points, and then go to make converting the low fidelity wireframes to high fidelity. Like right now in the current project which you're seeing on my screen, you would not find a low fidelity because I've already converted them into high fidelity. So one of the information architecture which I've turned into a wireframe is kind of this. So these are my whiteboarding designs which I do. So this is a procedure which I follow. I hope you'd have got the answer. Netflix is easy to navigate and as in more movies on what you always watch on like Prime Video. But is that job of a UI UX designer, or it's a job of a UI UX designer, of course, because to find those strategies, that to find a relevant movie or the series to what you're typically watching is a concept which is obviously thought by the UX. The developer will always discuss or follow the footsteps of the stakeholder and the UX designers, because they basically strategize and make concepts for the product. So it's like a equal balance of work, like equal balance of job. What is the difference between low fidelity? So basically, low fidelity wireframe. I just want to share my screen for this to explain what's the difference between low fidelity and high fidelity wireframe. So what I drew for a example of whiteboarding for one of my Uber ride, this I would call a low fidelity wireframe, which has no visuals, no icons, no colors, no proper placement. It's just a concept. And what would I mean by high fidelity wireframe is full of visuals, full of placements, full of consistency with icons, and appealing in nature. So basically, low fidelity wireframe is just a representation of concept without any visuals, and high fidelity wireframe is a concept of more with visuals. Yeah.
Okay. So hi Priyanka. Okay, I think there's one more question.
Whiteboard and mood board, please. What's the difference? Whiteboard is basically where you put your concept, you draw your ideas, you map out your uh, flow. I mean, any of your thoughts. And I'm sorry, one second. So basically, whiteboard is more about jot down your problems, your solutions, your ideas, or collaborating with the users. Wherein the mood board is a collection of your images or text from different websites or anything. It's just a reference. Whiteboard is where you work, and mood board is where you put your reference for this is how my website should look, or it should be looking like this. So it's a total different boards.
Okay. So guys, Kite, I hope that answers your question. We don't have any more questions coming up. So thank you so much, Priyanka, for coming on this call. Thank you for
Thank you
sharing
so much.
your knowledge. And also, guys, you can go ahead to follow her on LinkedIn. Her LinkedIn handle is displayed on the screen. You can do that as well. So that'll be all for today. Thank you for coming on the call once again. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, guys. And if in case you have any doubts or any new learnings, please reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Sure, we will. But we have one more question before you go.
So is there a perfect way for research? So if you want to read it through books, so books will always say that you have to do uh, like first user research, and then you can do online research via polls. Uh, but there is no perfect way of research. Some people just talk to the users. Some people just go to Google and do the research. Some people just do the brainstorm and find their own research. So these there so these are some examples of research, but I would say there's no perfect way of research. It's just how you approach. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so that's it. Okay, okay. There's just one more question. Take this, I'll call it a day. Sorry about it.
So does this mean the fig jam can't be used for a whiteboard since we can't draw a low fat? So fig jam is a kind of whiteboard thing, but it's not necessary that you have to draw. So it depends. A lot of people don't do a low fidelity wireframe on the fig jam. So, fig jam can be used in brainstorming, kind of whiteboarding, collaborating with team whiteboarding. When you say lo-fi, then I would prefer like a Figma file would be more better when you want to show some visual concepts. But for fig jam, the two types of whiteboarding where you can do is just brainstorm ideas and collaborate with team members. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. That's all for the class. So guys, have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching from. And thank you so much, Priyanka. Bye everyone.
Thank you
And
so
also,
much. Hello.
okay. No, I heard you. Can go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I just wanted to end this section with one line that UI UX design is just not with the books. It's just with the experience, with the feeling which you get in day to day life. If you understand the user, you understand the product. It's then you have achieved that you understand your UI UX. Yeah.
Yes, that is very true. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Also, guys, her LinkedIn handle is in the chat, so you can click on it to connect with her on LinkedIn. Bye, everyone.